if you look at the magazines in the gas station, there's Back to the Future magazines and movies like that. You could just reach and grab something and look at it, and it would be an Easter egg.
Oh, not that thing!
I didn't know I could be scared and yelling no and having tears in my eyes next second while watching the screening. And thank you for bringing us all the way back to my first memory of seeing Jurassic Park. The first one.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
You once say most of your film have secret attempt to make your own Jurassic Park movie.
Right.
So how was it for you to step into the real one right now?
It was really, really hard and sort of, I wouldn't say easy, but comfortable. Like when you're a kid and you grow up with dinosaur toys and you think that's what the world's going to be like. It's going to be this amazing adventure and jungles and excitement. And then you realize the world is not quite like that and it's very boring.
Not for you, I think.
Well, so then when you get to do a big movie like this, it's strangely like going back to your childhood. And so it's like very comforting, you know, like having a comfort blanket or something, where it just feels like what you were promised as a kid, like the kind of world. So it's very exciting. And yeah, and then Steven Spielberg is my hero. I never thought, I mean, it's very, very surreal. Like you go to a meeting at Universal Studios and
Were you nervous?
Yeah, because like I remember there was this one meeting and I drove and got there early because I didn't want to be late. And so I was in this room on my own and there was like this big window and it's all the Universal theme park. And I was just looking at it, and as I looked in the reflection, I saw Steven Spielberg walk in, and behind me he's like, "Oh, hey Gareth." And I suddenly like realized I'm gonna have to talk to Steven for like 10 minutes to make, you know, small talk. And also the way he walked in, because he was sort of a reflection, he was like a ghost, you know, like it was like Obi-Wan Kenobi or like some mythical figure. Yeah, it was weird.
Wow, that's a very surreal experience, right?
I mean, you can't, I still don't quite believe it happened. I tried to, when we made the film, tried to feel like we were making this smaller film with our friends, you know, like a very passion project, like a movie that I loved. And it wasn't a big film, like pretend not to look.
Like 10 dinosaurs running to you.
And then we got away with it. We spent 9 months doing the edit with just a small group of people. And then one day I was at home and I was doing the visual effects, writing and typing, and it was like nearly midnight and I was about to go to bed and I suddenly heard the movie playing and I was like, how come the movie's playing? And then I thought, oh no, am I streaming it to my neighbor's TV somehow? And I started to worry, and I listened in the corridor and I looked, and it was basically the first time I'd ever seen the commercial for the movie go, Jurassic World, you know, like,
Wow.
And I realized, and I was like, oh my God, everything we've been doing here has gone all the way to America, gone across America and beamed across the world back to the very room that it began in. And it was like a very strange moment where you realize how big these movies are. Like it's not just a small little passion project as much as you might want it to be.
Did your neighbors know you're the director?
No, I never told them, no.
Let's go.
It's like playing a video game to beat one level next to another, but you're no stranger to special effects. So which scene was the most difficult one to pull off?
The hardest one, not for me, but the hardest one for the visual effects people was probably the ocean sequence. Because of the water. Water's usually really, really, really hard to do in the computer when you've got dinosaurs and things. And some artists at Industrial Light and Magic who said, we're going to do the best water anyone's ever seen in a film. And I thought, good luck. And then they went away and they were amazing. And to the point where I would look at shots that had finished, and we shot some stuff in the ocean and with a helicopter, and then we shot some stuff on the ground with a special robotic ship that could flip and do crazy stunts. and I was looking at the robotic ship, really confused because I thought it was the helicopter because it looked so real in the water, and it was like perfect. Like I can't fault the water simulations in this movie. They just did an amazing job.
I like the T-Rex rafting scene so much. We have seen T-Rex in every Jurassic movie, but this one I didn't see that coming. And so which part of the whole scene was the most difficult one?
For the actors, the hardest part was probably when they get submerged, right? When basically the T-Rex flips the raft that they're in and they start having to swim in rapids. And so what happened is we shot in Thailand in a real lake, and it was really warm, too hot, but it was nice. And then the rapids bit we did in England in a fake rapids for the Olympics, for the London Olympics. They made a rapids system, and it was freezing cold. So every time we did a take, the actors were like this, and then I'd feel really guilty because I'd want a second take or a third take, or sometimes a 10th take, and they would hate me, and they'd be looking at you, come up to them, and I'd have a big coat on and gloves. I'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, I'm really sorry, and I would even take my glove off to just feel sympathetic, and they'd be like, oh no, it's too cold. Put my glove back on. It was, I think they wanted to kill me at that point, but yeah. So I mean. But hopefully in the movie it all feels really warm and tropical.
Yes, definitely.
Please open the door for me!
When I saw the Distorters Rex, I think, is it an alien hybrid or something? And I realized you actually got inspired by aliens. So tell us the process of designing its look and any interesting behind the scenes story about that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's like when you design a creature for a film, it's a bit like you read the script and it's a bit like witnessing a crime or something, and then someone coming up to you and asking you what did they look like, what did the criminal look like, and you have to try to explain but you can't remember properly, and it's a bit like it's sort of in your memory but not perfect, and so artists come and you try to help them by giving them references, and I remember giving them references of obviously the T-Rex, and then on top of that there's a thing called the Rancor monster from Star Wars. There's also the alien from all the Aliens movies, and a little bit there's a British movie called The Elephant Man, which is about this guy who's kind of got a disease and he doesn't live very comfortably. And so we wanted you to, even though it's a monster, we wanted you to feel a bit like torn, like a little bit like empathetic, like, oh, I feel sorry for it, even though it's scary. And so we tried to give it a little bit of that to make it more interesting as well.
Mm-hmm. And when I saw Jonathan holding the egg in the temple, I thought, will there be a big round rock chasing after him? And there are so many Easter eggs and details for fans to notice. Any particular one you're dying for the fans to find out?
Gosh, there's too many to think of. Is there a particular scene? And I'll try and think of one.
The final one? The final big battle?
Yeah. Okay. So I say this and then suddenly I'm not going to be able to think of it. The problem was I'd stand on set and if you were like waiting for the lighting or the camera, you could just reach and grab something and look at it and it would be an Easter egg. Like it'd be something to do with a Spielberg film. And so like there's, you know, in the movie Jaws, there's the pedal that Quint, when he tries to get the shark, his pedal is on the bar at one point in the movie. There's like, if you look at the magazines in the gas station near the end of the film, there's Back to the Future magazines and movies like that. And even in the shop, if you slightly like basically I looked and there was a place called Devil's Tower, which is where Close Encounters was set, and there was basically like merchandise for that. Like any reference to a Steven Spielberg movie was basically everywhere. I keep thinking of them every day. I think of a new one. I go, oh yeah, we did that as well. It felt like basically for me, the whole movie was a love letter to those early Steven Spielberg films. And so every time there was a little vacuum or gap of an idea, we sort of filled it with something that felt a bit Spielbergy. Even the raft, yeah, even the raft. With the T-Rex chase, they bought that raft and it was orange, and I felt really bad, and I was like, I need it to be yellow. And they were like, we can't find a yellow raft. And I was like, can we keep looking until we get a yellow? And eventually they found a yellow raft, and I wanted it to be yellow because of Temple of Doom. They jump out of the plane with a yellow raft, and it just felt more Spielberg. And so like basically, like I can never make a movie like this again, because I feel like this whole thing was one giant love letter to him, really. Okay, cut. Very good.
Got that very good. Well done.
Hi Taiwan, I am Gareth Edwards, the director of Jurassic World Rebirth. You should see this on the biggest screen possible. We made this to be a massive theatrical experience. The only way you can believe that a dinosaur is 50 feet high is if you see it on a 50-foot screen. So make sure you do.